Good morning, all my beautiful angels. It is Friday morning. It is about 5:50. We're about 20 minutes late from when I wanted to leave. It's gonna get real dark because it's super early in the morning. We are getting ready to head out of town to go to our electrolysis appointment. This is my first time actually vlogging and moving around. It's super dark, it's super cold out. We're at that time of the year where I live where everything is, it's like a 40-degree swing between the day and between the night. So it gets pretty cold at night, which is fine because it gives me a chance to wear my cardigan. I really wanted to be able to mount you guys into the car here. That way I could talk while I was driving, and I messaged a couple girls that I know that do it, but they didn't message me back. So I'm just going to be filming in tidbits, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. At least that's something that has been consistent throughout my transition, is girls ignoring me. That stayed the same regardless of my gender. Before we get going though, please take a second, like and subscribe. I hope that you enjoy this video. It's my first one like this. And don't forget to follow my Instagram when you have a minute. I post there every day. And if you're a new subscriber, I post every Monday and every Friday. Hope that you enjoy it. And if you're returning, I appreciate every single one of you. So let's get the car going. It's kind of loud, but at least we can get going. So I'm going to go hit Starbucks because it's super early in the morning, and I will see you guys in a little bit. I am not gonna lie, so here we are, we're getting gas, and the absolute best part about being out this early in the morning, because it's about 6 a.m., so it's a 4-hour drive to get there, is that nobody is out and about. So there's like nobody at the 7-Eleven. I'm hoping that there's not anybody at the Starbucks. Everybody just needs to stay asleep. I'll talk to you guys. So we're here, it's about 8 a.m. I am in Auburn, which is about 2 hours away from Reno, obviously, because it's 8 a.m. We got to stop here to put gas in the car, and I stopped at the Rayleighs because the place that I'm going to for my electrolysis, they don't do their own numbing, which I think is really weird. So my laser lady provided me with some numbing cream. I am praying to God that it works because she said she had 2 kinds, and I realized I left the house today and I forgot to bring disposable gloves, so I had to stop to get that because otherwise I'm gonna have numb ass hands after I put this stuff on, and that's the last thing I want. And then I also got some baby wipes because I need something to wipe the numbing cream off with. And something crazy and kind of weird in the Rayleighs here that we don't have in Reno is that they actually charge for bags, which is really weird. I was like checking out and I'm like, I'm in the quick check, the self-checkout, and I'm like, why isn't it finishing the checkout? And I realize it's asking me how many bags I used, and then it's telling me that there's a fee for the amount of bags. Craziness, right? Anyway, so we are officially off Interstate 5, and we are on Highway 580, Interstate 580, I don't know, one of these freeways over here. It says we're about 30 minutes away-ish. It says 25 miles, so probably more like 20 minutes away from scenic Livermore. I really hope that it's nice there. I've never been there, but I hope it's nicer than the name sounds, because it's one of those places where you hear the name and you're just like, I don't want to go there. But you know, names can be deceiving, and a good example of that, and I'm not putting anyone down, if you live here, good for you, whatever, I don't care, I hate it there. My cousin lives in scenic Palmdale, California, and he was getting married, and I got an invite, and I was like, oh, Palmdale, that sounds nice, I've never been there before. And I get there, and it was horrible. I hate that place. And we went out to dinner, and it was supposed to be this nice restaurant, and I bet it could have been on Kitchen Nightmares. It was that bad. And I woke up, it was so bad that I woke up the day after the wedding. It was like 6 in the morning, and I was like, or it was like 3 in the morning, and I was like, I could sleep for a few more hours, because it's like a 7-hour drive from there, or 6 hours back to where I live. It's like, I could go to bed for a few hours, or I could just fucking get up now and leave and check out and be home sooner. And I got up at like, and left at like 4 in the morning, just so I could get home and not have to be there. I hate that place. I hate that place so much. Anyway, we should be there soon. I'm getting getting nervous about the electrolysis. I hope it's not painful. I hope I don't cry. If I do cry, I'll get it on tape so you guys can all see. So we are here. We got here about 10 o'clock. We are at Vineyard Electrolysis in scenic Livermore. It took me about 3.5 hours total of drive time because I did have to stop and put more gas in the car. I'm really not used to walking and holding the camera while I'm doing this, so if it ends up bad and angles are bad, just yell at me fucking later, whatever. And I will have to say, I just finished doing all of my numbing, and it is a good thing that I have super dark ass windows in my car as I'm laying there half fucking naked. Numbing my entire downstairs. I did have my cardigan, so I used that to cover myself up, but still. So here we are. We're coming in. I hope it's good here, and I had a hard time finding a place. Here we are, Vineyard Electrolysis. I had a tough time finding a place that would do like a Brazilian area. So if you live in like Northern California or like Northern Nevada and you're looking for a place to do electrolysis for your surgery, this would be a good place to go to. I'll link all of their information downstairs, down below, and let's go in. Let's see if she says okay, my loves, we are back at home. I wanted to do more filming while I was there. I really wanted to do more filming on the way home. But like I said at the beginning of this, I didn't have a way to mount the camera in the car, so the filming I did on the way up there was like all super unsafe. I had like the camera like kind of sitting on a tripod, like over like in the middle and like in the middle console, all unsafe. A couple times I was holding it, so the angles are probably pretty bad, but I'll figure out how to mount the camera in the car. And on the way down there, traffic was pretty light, so it wasn't that big a deal. Like I said, I got down there in 3.5 hours, but on the way home, the drive home was absolutely dreadful. It was absolutely horrible. I didn't film an outro while I was there, which I was gonna do, but I was trying to get back on the road. I didn't even stop and get food. I was going to stop and get some food before I left because I have been usually eating after my morning workouts about 11 to 12 o'clock, and it was about 1 o'clock when my appointment was over and when I was getting ready to leave. So I was really hungry because I hadn't eaten anything. I just had some coffee, so that probably didn't help. My Starbucks coffee made me all jittery. So all I did was stop off at the store on the way. I stopped off at the store and I grabbed something to drink, and I grabbed some gummies, which I shouldn't have had because now I'm just piling sugar into my body. First the coffee and then the gummies. Whatever. I was trying to get on the road, and I had this plan in mind because it was 1 o'clock and it's like 2 hours to get back to Auburn. And I was like, okay, cool. 2 hours to get to Auburn. I'll be there by like 3:30. I'll have missed all the traffic through Sacramento, because if you hit the traffic in Sacramento, it is literally the fucking worst. It is horrible. And and I've never been to Livermore, like I said, but going to San Francisco for my breast augmentation, I do know driving back and forth, there's a certain amount of time that you have to get back through there before the traffic gets really bad. And then once it gets really bad, it's like bottlenecks everywhere because people don't know how to fucking drive, and it just drives me nuts. And when I bought my car's a manual transmission. I did not buy it to drive in traffic, and it just drives me fucking nuts. Now I'm rambling. Hope you guys don't hate me for rambling. Anyway, I wanted to film more. I wanted it to be more a day in the life, and the drive home was so miserable. It was stop and go. There was traffic the whole way back. It took me 3.5 hours to get there. It took me 5 hours to get back home to Reno. That's how bad the traffic was. And the worst part was the traffic hit a standstill about 20 miles, maybe 15 miles away from Auburn, and I had to use the bathroom so bad. I had to use the bathroom for probably an hour, and I was like, no, I could just make it to Auburn. I'm almost there. I could miss the traffic. And traffic ended up at a standstill, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna burst in here. And finally it did get going, and I made it, and I was just so frustrated by then. I was gonna film, you know, kind of like what I eat for dinner, but I was so frustrated. I didn't want to like go someplace nice and have a sit down dinner. So I'm not gonna lie, I just went to fucking Burger King. I didn't even want to go find an In-N-Out, which is what I really wanted, but I didn't want to get off the freeway that far to go look for an In-N-Out. So I just went to fucking Burger King, had some food, and called it a day. I will figure out how to mount it in a car. But let's talk about the electrolysis, okay? The electrolysis compared to the lasering is the lasering, obviously, you're using the laser, they're shooting it over like a round area or maybe a square area. I haven't actually looked at it. I'm pretty sure it's a round area that targets a whole group of your hair follicles. It doesn't always kill all the hair follicles, but it does push back the way the hair grows, and it makes the hair grow back finer. So even if you don't kill off a lot, you'll probably kill off a lot of the follicles, you'll lose a lot of it, but a lot of it will just thin out, so it gets so fine that even when you're not shaving, like my arm hair, one of the places I had lasering, I still get like fuzzy like arm hair that grows out, but it's not real thick, dense, coarse arm hair. It's more like arm hair that girls get, where it's like all fine and all thin, and you can barely see them. They're not black. They're like, you know, a blondish color. So that's kind of the difference between lasering and electrolysis. And my surgery place told me, and I don't remember if I said this at the beginning, but my surgery place told me they want you to have electrolysis opposed to lasering because they don't want you to have hair growing after your surgery where you shouldn't have hair, because we don't want hair growing inside, because that's just gross. We don't want that. And I guess there's like, you know, not only hygiene issues, but increases the risk for infection, and it's like literally a whole thing. So they were really bitchy with me, like I said, because I hadn't started it yet, and I didn't realize how much of a process it was. Like, I know I'd had 5 sessions of laser hair removal, and so I have a lot that's cleared out in that area, but I was there for 2 hours and she didn't even like do a whole huge patch. I was like, okay, 2 hours, she'll do like a whole area, because it only takes about 25, 30 minutes to do the entire area for the lasering. But then when you think about it, she has to do each individual follicle, and what they do is they take this little tiny needle, and it seems like a little tiny needle, but I'm not gonna lie, and that's because I'm so much of a baby, on the whole left side of my body, and it was the same way with the lasering. The whole left side of my body is more sensitive than the right side of my body, and it's like really fucking weird. Like, my left nipple is more sensitive than my right nipple. It's a whole fucking thing. If that's TMI, I don't really care. Go watch somebody else, because that's just what we do with this channel here. And so the right side of my body was like no big deal. I was like, cool, that's great. I could fucking do this. And the left side of my body, I could literally feel everything. I felt the needle going in. I felt every single zap. And it was absolutely dreadful. And she had to listen to me whine, and she was absolutely great. She listened to me whine. A couple of times she tried to, she adjusted the settings to the way the current flows through it, because they zap each individual follicle with electricity, and it gets it to release it, and then it also cauterizes the, I guess there's veins that go up into each one of the follicles, and it cauterizes them so they don't grow so they close, so they don't grow anymore. My mind just went blank again. So I could literally feel everything, and it was like so painful, and she was doing it, and I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely, and the needle, like I was saying anyway, this is where I was getting back to. The needle, even though it was little on that left side of my body, I told her, I was like, this literally feels like the needle that's like for donating blood. It felt like it was that fucking long. But no, she was great. It was absolutely wonderful. I'm just kind of a big baby. I guess that's what it is, but it's something that needs to be done. She was like, are you going to be okay? You're going to make it? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. I do recommend that if you are going to have electrolysis, if you're planning on having surgery, start doing lasering first. Start doing laser hair removal first, because she did tell me that if I hadn't had laser hair removal, the amount of time it would take to clear everything out would be about 2 years worth of sessions. And she says we might not even have enough time to fit it in the 4 months we have before my surgery. So I should have started this sooner. She's talking 6 months. I hope I don't have to reschedule my surgery. Be such a pain. Anyway, I digress. I did ask her a few important questions. I asked her because I noticed with my lasering, once I got going on my hormones and my skin changed and my skin got more sensitive, that it started to hurt so much more doing the lasering. And she said that that doesn't matter at all for the electrolysis, because I was wondering if I would have started this earlier before I got going on my hormones, if that would have made it so it wasn't as painful. And she said, no, that really doesn't matter. Said, if anything, it actually helps that I did it later, because the hormones can help change the way the skin grows grows, because the not only the skin but the way the hairs grow, because the more coarse the hairs are, the harder they are to get them to release, and the more it can hurt, because the more times it has to get zapped with electricity. So the finer your hair is, the less it's going to hurt, and that is actually part of what the lasering helps. It helps thin them out, it helps make them finer. So I definitely recommend doing that first, because you'll clear out a large area and make it so you're not going through all this misery while you're doing it. I'm going to pop all her information below. I do recommend, if you live in the Northern Nevada or Northern California, you need someplace to go. I know she works with insurance companies, because her and I were talking about it. She said she gets referred to patients by Kaiser, so I'm going to put all of her info below. It's 2 of the girls that work there. She was really great. I had a hard time finding an appointment with a 2-hour block, and I let her know that, and she emailed me back and texted me back and made the appointment for me and let me know when because she was telling me to do it online through their system, and she texted me back and made it all for me and made it all easy for me. So she's absolutely great. You definitely should see her. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to go over with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. It was definitely a first for me for filming while I was walking and filming while I was driving and filming outside of this room. So I hope you guys like it. If you do, I'll do more of them. And the very last thing I want to tell you about is my hair. I have been loving my hair. Look at how long my hair has been getting. Look at how soft it is. Now this hair, see, it's all soft, it's all shiny, and I want to say, this hair, this is day after. I washed it yesterday, but I washed it yesterday. I haven't washed it today. I usually wash it every 2 or 3 days, but this is after being put up twice for working out, and all of the sweat and all of the, because I worked out last night, I worked out this morning. So this is what, after all of the sweat and everything that goes into working out, and it is still soft and shiny. All I had to do is brush it out. I put a little of the leave-in conditioner in it, and it's using all natural plant-based products. So if you have questions about that or are interested, DM me on my Instagram, and I will definitely give you a little hair consultation and let you know what I'm using. Other than that, I will talk to you guys soon. I don't know, I'm gonna film for Friday. I might even throw something up Wednesday. We'll see how this week goes, but it'll be good. Love you all.